Hello everybody, it's Dana Sullivan, the Stampin' Chick, here with another Make It Monday! How are you today, my friends? I hope you had a fabulous weekend. It has been a beautiful weekend here in East Tennessee. A little on the warm side still and a little too much humidity for my like, but we have definitely had a little bit of cooler temperatures too, which I appreciate. All right, friends, today I have a beautiful Make It Monday project for you, a very soft and vintage classic feel. So pretty, and it was actually inspired by a card that I had received from one of my downline. Miss Kim had sent this card to me, and it was super cute, and it reminded me that I hadn't even used my Delicate Dahlias stamp set yet. So I thought, oh my goodness, how could I have gone without having used it at all yet? So I got it out and started working and came up with this sweet little project for you, so I wanted to share it. This is the Delicate Dahlias stamp set. Now this is a free stamp set with a qualifying celebration purchase. So it's in this little brochure right here, and let me just get it right here. So it's the Delicate Dahlias, free with a $100 order. And you can see here are some beautiful little samples of projects that you could do with the stamp set. Now, as you can see, of course, the cards that Kim and I have done are completely different than the project samples you see in the catalog. So you can tell just by that how versatile this stamp set is. But it's absolutely beautiful. It has this incredible distinctive stamping, which you guys already know I absolutely love. And I love that you can layer it as well, so that's really nice. And the sentiments are super cute as well. So we'll go ahead and get to this. Now, while we're talking about celebration, I just want to put a bug in your ear that if you would like to get the starter kit, now is a perfect time, because you're going to get $125 worth of product for $99, just like you normally would. But during celebration, you're also going to be able to pick a free bundle to add to it as well. And some of these bundles are $54 a piece. So you can add an extra $50 to your starter kit just by signing up during celebration. So it's really cool. It's a great way to get a fabulous discount on products you already know and love. Products you're going to purchase anyway, you might as well get a discount. So anyways, if you're interested in getting the starter kit, you get to choose $125 of product, whatever product you want, for only $99, plus you get to choose a free bundle from the collection on top of that as well, and you get free shipping. So anyway, if you're interested, let me know. Leave me a comment down below or send me a message or whatever, and I will get you taken care of. All right, friends, let's get to this project. It's super cute and I want to share it. So here's what you're going to need. You'll need your Delicate Dahlias stamp set. You're going to need Blackberry Bliss and Mossy Meadow inks. I'm using some of this new, absolutely beautiful diamond weave ribbon. That is not something you say 3 times fast. So pretty. It's crocheted, just gorgeous. All right, so we're going to use that. And then I'm also going to be using some of these cute matte decorative dots. So these are going to be some nice accents for our project. And then for the materials, we're going to need a piece of Blackberry Bliss cardstock that measures 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. So we have that. We'll go ahead and burnish that line a bit. You're going to need some Very Vanilla Now, I'm using the Very Vanilla because the diamond weave ribbon is just so pretty and it's a vanilla color. So typically I might use a vanilla or a white base, but for this card I'm using a vanilla base. So this piece is 4 inches by 5 1/4, and this is going to be for the inside of our card. I have a piece of craft cardstock that I have used the checks and dots embossing folders. Obviously, I used the dots one. And this is 3 by 5 3/8. Now that 5 3/8 is going to give us just a really fine border all the way around. So I love that. And then this piece is Very Vanilla as well, and it's 2 inches by 5 3/8, and we're actually going to layer this over the top of the edge of our craft piece there, so it's going to be the front of our card. And then I've used the Stitched So Sweetly dies. This is the largest of the rectangle shapes, and Blushing Bride cardstock, so this will be going here. And then this piece is, I believe, 2.5 by 3 3/4. Yes, 2.5 by 3 3/4. So we're gonna put, is that 3 3/4 or 3 5/8? 3 5/8. Oh my goodness, 3 5/8. 2.5, 3 5/8. That goes right there. Okay. And then we have a 1/2 inch by 2 1/4 inch of Very Vanilla for our sentiment piece, and then a 5/8 inch by 2 3/8 inch for the background piece of Blackberry Bliss. So we have those, and that's all we're going to need. Let's go ahead and get our stamping done. Because this is excuse me, because this is a photopolymer stamp set, I'm going to get out my Pierce mat. Here we go. Okay, I'm going to start with my sentiment and the Blackberry Bliss ink. And the sentiment is You Inspire Me. So pretty. And I'm going to line it up towards the right hand side because this gives me a little bit of room. Let me make sure I'm in the camera there. Gives me a little bit of room on the left hand side to miter my edges. So I'm just going to put this on here near the right hand side. Something like that, and hope that we're even. All right, not too bad. Okay, now that I've got that, I also want to, I'll set that aside, and I'm going to bring in this piece and also a scrap piece of copy paper so that I can stamp off. And I'm going to take that Dahlia and I'm going to stamp on the top corner, ink it up again, and stamp it on the bottom. Okay. And this Dahlia is so pretty. I mean, it has got so much texture to it, and it's absolutely gorgeous. I mean, take a look at all of that detail. Isn't it beautiful? Oh, I just love it. Okay, now that I've got all of the blackberry stamping out of the way, I'm going to bring in the Mossy Meadow ink, and I'm using that little trio of leaves there, and I'm going to use that long skinny strip of Very Vanilla, and we're going to just ink leaves all over it to give it a nice little background. So basically I'm making my own DSP here, which I love doing because this helps me create coordinating papers without a whole lot of work and effort. So this is great. Let's see, kind of want it to go this way. There we go. And I'm sure I could have pre-stamped one of these for us, but that's okay. You can watch. It doesn't take too long. There we go. And all I'm doing is just kind of rotating it around a bit and stamping at different angles. That way it doesn't look too uniform, and it can fill in the blank spaces just a little bit better. All right, now we're gonna stamp this one right there, and I think that's good. I'm going to try to put just the tip of that leaf right in that space. There we go. All right, let me get that out of the way. Okay. Hi there, Miss Kathy. How are you? I don't know if I've missed. Yay, Facebook's going to show me comments tonight. That's awesome. I don't want to jinx myself, but hi there. All right, now, actually, while I've got the leaf dirty and the Mossy Meadow ink here nearby, hi, Miss Vicky. I'm going to go ahead and ink up that leaf one more time, and the piece of Very Vanilla that's going to go on the inside, we're going to use this stamp and just stamp it in the corner. And that way we're dressing up the inside a little, because what do I always say? No naked insides and no naked envelopes. In fact, speaking of envelopes, I have already pre-stamped this, but I do want to stamp the Dahlia. So I could go ahead and do that and get all of our stamping done. That's a good idea. Hi, Miss Carol. How are ya? Oh, I'm so happy to see so many people here this evening. I hope everyone's doing well. I am totally in love with this stamp set. It's just absolutely gorgeous. All right, now isn't that beautiful? I mean, all of that detail is just incredible. I love it. All right, we have done all of our stamping now. Let's get to the assembly part, shall we? Okay, I'm going to bring in my trimmer for just a moment, and the reason is because I have these two strips that I need to equal 4 1/8 of an inch, but I want them to overlap just a little bit because I want them to attach here. So in order to get an exact size, and especially when I'm going to have such a fine border, I will tell you that this is the way I am going to put these two layers together. So I'm going to put adhesive on the bottom right of this piece and the top left of this piece. Okay, and there are probably a dozen ways to do this, but this is the way that I'm doing it, so you know, this is the way I'm going to show you. Okay, so I have this piece right here at the cut line. Okay, so this is right at the cut track. And then I have this piece that I want to line up at 4 1/8 of an inch. Okay, so I'm going to line this one up at 4 1/8. And I'm going to line this one up right there at the cut line. Whoops. All right. And then I'm going to put, listen, don't listen to me. Do as I say, not as I do. So much easier when you're not doing live. Okay, there we go. So I have it lined up at 4 1/8 here and at the cut line here. That way I know when I put this together, now it's the regular size of my panel. Now, any other time, if I were just gluing it directly onto the card base, I could just glue it onto the card base. But I added a degree of difficulty when I decided that I wanted this ribbon to wrap around that layer. So that's why I had to adhere those two pieces that way. You know, if I were just going to put them directly onto the card, then I wouldn't have had to go through all that craziness. I could have just put this layer at the edge, put this layer at the edge, and they would have met. But anyway, you know what I'm saying. Thank you, Miss Carol. I'm glad that you love that tip. It's kind of a pain in the patella, really, when you don't need to do it. But in this case, like I said, because I was tying the ribbon around the whole thing like it were one panel, I had to have it connected to itself and still be able to tie the ribbon around it. So that's my story there. Okay, so now I'm just tying the bow, and you know, this ribbon is a little more difficult to tie into a bow than some of our other ribbons are, because it's so thick, and it's kind of a dense ribbon, if you know what I mean. It's heavyweight, but it's absolutely beautiful. And I really think that it just lends itself very well to this card. So I kind of had to use it. All right, so there's that. And I'm just trying to get that one to behave itself a little better. There we go. Okay, and now I can attach this layer to the card. There we go. All right, I'll put this on just like so, and you will see that it has just the tiniest little line of border all the way around it. Okay, so I wanted it to be a very fine line because that Blackberry Bliss can be really overpowering. And because I'm going to have Blackberry Bliss stamping, I didn't really need a whole lot of it to show. So that's why it's a thinner border. And then because we've already got this stamped as well, we can attach it to the inside. So we'll go ahead and do that. There we go. Now you could make this piece 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 so that it's the same size as the front. But honestly, it doesn't matter to have such a decent border around this one, so I don't mind it being just the standard size, which is 4 inches by 5 1/4. So, all right, there's that. And now we'll layer the two of these together. So I'm just going to put a little of my adhesive on the Dahlias. They're just so cute too. I love them. There we go. And it's going to center nicely. Okay. And then we're going to put dimensionals on the back side of this one. Now, you know, typically I have a rule of no more than 2 layers of dimensionals when you're going to be sending a card in the mail. So this ribbon is really thick. Like I said, it's a really dense, heavy ribbon. You may end up using a little extra postage just because this ribbon tied into a bow is probably a little more than 1/4 inch. But even still, I'm just going to put 2 layers of dimension. I don't need to put a dimensional in the middle here because the ribbon is so dense. It's actually going to kind of act as a dimensional in the middle. So I can get away with just putting a few on the outside. And then I'm going to line up near the edge, right about there. Okay, and then we'll just tuck that, give them a good press. And you see what I mean. It's raised up right there in the center just as much as the other is. So I didn't need a dimensional there at all. All right, for our sentiment piece, I want to dovetail the end, and the easiest way I know to do it is just to cut a slit up the center and then go from each of the points, to actually go from the point to the center, there we go, from the point to the center, and that will give you a good little dovetail, a good little miter. And then from here, we'll attach this piece to the background layer, and then we're going to do the exact same thing. So we'll just line it up like that, and then we're going to cut to even with the center, and then just follow the edges just like so. Alright, so then you have a nice little layered piece there. And this is going to be our second popped up layer. So I'm going to add a couple of dimensionals right there. Okay, and then we're going to go across. I want to go just over the edge of the vanilla just to give it a little, you know, not quite so uniform. So I'm going in the space between the dots and the edge. And it's not quite straight. There we go. All right, now we've got it. And then we're gonna bring in those beautiful little matte dots that go with so many things. These are really, really pretty, and you'll find these in the new holiday catalog as well. They're very nice. All right, and we're just gonna use some of these green ones right here. So I wanna put one here. I'll put one down by my bow. And then I'm gonna put another one right there. All right, there we have it. Let me get that out of the way. All right, so there we have it. That was quick and simple, wasn't it? The card is just absolutely adorable, I think. I love it. And I love the vintage look and feel of it. It's so nice, and it's got just a very soft and feminine look to it. It's a beautiful card. And because it has "You Inspire Me" on the outside, but there's no actual writing on the inside, I could make this a thank you card or a birthday card, any kind of support, encouragement, or just because you inspire me, my friend. I love you. How are you, right? So it's a great card. All right, guys, I hope that you've enjoyed today's project. I had a lot of fun with it, and I've lost my other envelope, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, so there we have it. You can visit today's blog post to get all of the measurements and the supply list as well. And you can purchase them directly from there if you'd like. Remember that this is Celebration, so for every $50 that you spend, you get to choose something out of the Celebration catalog, or for $100, you can get that Delicate Dahlias stamp set, which is just absolutely gorgeous. Remember that you can sign up for the starter kit and choose $125 worth of product plus a free bundle for only $99. So anyway, thank you all so much for spending some time with me this evening. I really hope that you've enjoyed this card. And until next time, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye for now.